Martin Taggart and
Suzie Taggart
with Team Real Estate, here to tell you how to move your offer towards the top of the pile. All right, deep breath. So a very popular strategy right now with listing agents is to have the house go live on a Wednesday and Thursday, and then we're not taking any offers until 2 open houses, and then we're going to sit on Sunday, and we're going to go through this pile of offers as fast as we can, looking at numbers. And how do we get people around that? We've got a lot of frustrated people who just want their offer to be seen. They just want it to be seen and hopefully work itself towards the top of the pile. How do we do that? I mean, you could offer 10 times the amount of money and do something ridiculous, but in reasonable terms, how do you do that?
Well, it still doesn't mean it'll get seen. So the very first thing that I would encourage anybody to do to make sure your offer is seen and move it to the top is to follow the instructions the listing agent has provided. So oftentimes offer instructions are provided in the listing, and there's very specific things that some agents really want you to do. If you follow those instructions, that's a plus. If you don't follow those instructions, oftentimes they'll discount the offer completely because the instructions weren't followed.
So a big portion of this then is making yourself the easiest agent to work with.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say you do that, which a lot of agents don't, but let's say you do, and so you're already near the top third, let's say, of the offers that are submitted because you followed the rules. Suzie is a retired auditor. Following the rules is important.
Yes, it's very important.
All right, so you moved your offer further up because you followed the rules. Give everybody who watches this a couple of ideas that they might use to help further inch their way towards the top.
So we have a list of 22, I counted. There were 22 tips that we have that we work with our buyers on in order to get your offer a little closer to the top. So I shared the number one reason right there with following the MLS instructions from the listing agent. Number 2 is to pick up the phone and introduce yourself and introduce your buyers and their offer. There are so many people who they're working so fast and so hard that they're just doing their thing and zipping them out as fast as they can. And if you can just take a few minutes and call the listing agent, say, hey, my buyers love the house. I'm working on the offer now. You should have it tonight by 6. I just wanted to call and introduce myself, tell you a little bit about me and what it would be like to work with me and co-op on a deal.
So that's what the agent should do. So should the buyers who are watching this, should they be looking at this saying, okay, I want to make sure my agent did these things?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You want to make sure that you have an agent who has experience in multiple offers. So if you've never been in a situation before as an agent, or you have an agent who's never been in that situation before, this is definitely one of the things at the top of the list that they should do. They may not know they need to or should, or that it would be helpful. Make sure to tell them to do that.
I'm going to toss something in there. If your agent has had a ton of experience in this industry, many years worth of experience in this industry, you have to remind yourself that somebody who's a little bit newer, and I'm coming at this from lots of experience, so I'm kind of falling into this. The issue with really low inventory levels and crazy multiple offers is a relatively new phenomenon. If you're working with somebody who's been doing this for a really long time, they might be somebody who views that other agent as somebody that they're kind of competing against to get the best deal. You really want to find somebody that is looking at this as a cooperative process with you, with your agent, and the listing agent working together to get a good blend.
Absolutely. And then the next 2 things, the things that the buyer can really have more control over, right, is offering the best the first time. You will not get a chance to have a do-over. So make sure that your first offer is your highest and best and strongest offer the very first time.
So this is where you and I have a little bit of a different opinion on escalation clauses. So there are some listing agents that like escalation clauses, and there is a specific brokerage that trains their agents to deliver escalation clauses all the time. But the way the escalation clause is written is often not easy for the seller, the person interpreting the data, to understand.
Right.
So do you think in general, somebody should use an escalation clause? Let's say the listing agent doesn't say anything about it in their explanation. Like, we're going off your first tip, which is do what the listing agent prefers.
Right.
Should you use an escalation clause generally, or should you generally shy away from it?
So I would generally shy away from it. Of course, I as an agent call the listing agent, ask them if they like them or don't like them. But what I'm finding more often than not, they don't like them because it complicates things. You've got a pile of 33 offers, and it's hard enough to work through all of those with a seller and understand prices. Now you have prices higher than this one. If it's more than it just gets really complicated. So I would generally say to shy away.
And you used to be with that brokerage that
Yes.
teaches people to do this frequently. Okay, so send everybody off with a pro tip for the buyers out there. That what is the pro tip that you have today that'll maybe give them give their offer a kick in the pants and move it up?
Let's see. I would say that your pro tip for today is to consider offering additional earnest money or a higher price right off the bat if your offer is accepted more quickly than if it were to wait until it's presented 4 days after the listing goes live.
So, right, you've got the best tips from the best. She's not just a coach for our team. Suzie also coaches several other real estate teams around the country that use our CRM, Boomtown. Yep. So you're giving these people the same advice, and you're seeing the feedback from different parts of the country, not just the Kansas City metro.
Absolutely.
Right on.
Yeah.
Hey, life is better with
the team.